Cooking Adventures with Katie, Season 3. Monday Mouthful. On beignets. Because yay! Hey, it worked. Alright, hey everybody, and welcome to Cooking Adventures with Katie. On today's Monday Mouthful, we are going to be talking about beignets. Now, beignets are, you find them in Louisiana, New Orleans. They are your traditional breakfast type thing there. And so I'm going to kind of start off with, because not only would I be crucified by my aunt and cousins if there was more than one beignet recipe for this week's episode, or for this week's recipe Foodie Friday. There will not be a vote this week, as we will be using a traditional recipe, and the recipe that I found on a history of beignet website, along with the one that I have in my book, the only difference there was a difference in how much water. And will that make a difference? Maybe. But that was the only difference that I found. So with that, there's not going to be a vote this week. There will just be this. We're making beignets. That's what we're making. And as far as I know, they cannot be filled, but I'm not 100%. That was something that David had asked, but I have not found a recipe with anything filled in it yet. So, so there's that, and then there is also a chance that this would be a two-part video for Foodie Friday. So, if I cannot find a decent editing software, then it will be two parts. Otherwise, we'll try and make it one part. If it ends up being a one-part video, there's the one little, that means I edited stuff, and yay, progress for me. So we're going to go ahead and get started on these facts and the history of beignets. Now, the word beignet comes from the early Celtic word bini, B-I-G-N-E, meaning to raise, but is also French for fritter. Beignets are fried, raised pieces of yeast dough, and have been associated with Mardi Gras as far back, or in France, as far back as the 16th century. And many recipes appear in French works during that time. There is circumstantial evidence that supports an Andalusian, introduction of beignets into Mediterranean France. There's another reason to believe that beignets have migrated from the Islamic to Christian worlds is that the deep frying used to prepare beignets involves animal fat, which was very expensive back in the day. And also, it calls for metal pans as opposed to metal pans as opposed to the clay ones that were used because of the high temperatures that the fat got to. Now, French colonists of the 18th century brought the culture and the recipes of making beignets to New Orleans when they came over. And now beignets, since they were brought over, and even up to today, beignets are eaten with café au lait, which is French for coffee with milk. But in New Orleans, it's a strong dark roast coffee with chicory, served with equal parts hot milk. So coffee and chicory with milk. Now, chicory is a woody root of the dandelion family, and it was used to stretch dwindling coffee supplies. But it was also found to create a smoother, richer brew. And so if you live in New Orleans, I suppose, you might be able to find a coffee chicory combination to drink with your beignets. And honestly, I need to talk with my aunt and see if she can send over a bag so I can see how good that coffee is, because Lord knows I love some coffee. But that's beignets. Other than that, the only other thing that I could find was make sure your eggs are beaten before you mix everything in, and make sure everything is room temperature. And then there was a recipe that I saw that said 3 to 4 hours letting the dough rest, chilled minimum. But then everything else I saw said 12 hours or overnight. So I'm going to make them on the night before, and then we're going to cook them the morning of. And if everything pans out right, it will be all one video and be good. So y'all let me know what are some good video editing stuff. A free preferred, as bills, and I'm poor at the moment. But yes, so that way I can offer higher quality, less rambly videos, and might be able to get a decent actual beginning clip that I can use in all my phones, or all my videos, and it's all the same all the time, every time, and that would be nice. So y'all let me know, and then also with the fasting through this weekend. So this weekend I have been doing 1 meal a day fasting as opposed to a solid fast. And my meals have been an avocado, a tomato, a handful of nuts, and some sardines. So high fat. Tomato has sugar, but it also has lots of vitamins and nutrients in it, as well as the avocado. Nuts are high fat, and the sardines are protein and fat too. So decent meals, I suppose. Not something a lot of people would consider a meal, I suppose, just snacks, but if you put enough snacks together, it's a dish. I've still dropped a couple of pounds. I weighed myself today and I was 133.4, and yesterday I was 133.6, and the day before I was 134.4. 134.4 is where I've kind of been sitting. So I've dropped a little bit, but it's a matter of how the 2 days. If I weigh the same for 2 days in a row, that's my new weight. If it's one day because weight fluxes, no. But yeah, that's really it. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode on the Monday Mouthful of Beignets, as well as the little update on my fasting stuff for this weekend. And there will hopefully be only one episode on the Friday for Foodie Friday, but there's a chance it will be 2. Yeah. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please like it. I would greatly appreciate it. If you didn't, thumbs down. Let me know what I can do better. I do want feedback, so y'all let me know. And please comment below, and or like the Facebook Cooking Adventures with Katie page, and let me know there. These are the 2 best ways for me to get your feedback. Yeah. So with all that being said, happy cooking.